Welcome to Dark Creation Studios. In this video, we'll be showing you guys how to draw a male three-quarter view. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so first things first, we're going to start off with the circle. Next, we're going to drop in a vertical line. And notice how we have the vertical line more to the left of the circle. That is because the character head will be tilted or turned more to the left. Afterwards, we could go ahead and sketch in a horizontal line. And right here at the end of the circle, we could go ahead and put in an oval. This is just a guide to line up the ears later on. Alright, awesome, we finished with that. Now we could start working on the face. Alright guys, so please pay attention to this part. So you're going to go out. And now you're going to go back in. And we're going to bring this line down. And we'll curve at the chin right here. And then carry the line over. And then we'll put a straight line right here. And we'll end it off right there. Alright, cool, and all you could already see, we have the base for our three-quarter view. Alright, cool, so now we could put in a guideline for the eyes. And now we'll start sketching in the eyes right now. And you could come up with your own shape, but for this we're going to use an almond-like shape. Alright guys, so we finished sketching the eyes. And notice how the left eye closer to this line right here compared to the eye on the right. Next we'll go ahead and drop in the folds for the eyes. And we'll follow that up by putting in the eyebrows. Alright, so next we could go ahead and we'll drop in the nose. And for the nose, just think of it as if you're drawing the nose from the side. And if you guys need to find out more information about that, we did a video on how to draw the nose 2 different ways. So feel free to check that out. Alright guys, so before we move on, we're going to head back up by the eyes and we'll put in the eyeballs. And also add in the details. Okay guys, so on to the mouth. And for the mouth, just think of it as you're sketching a flat M, if that makes sense, like the letter M that's been squished a bit. And you could also see how it's in line with the edge of the jaw right here. Alright guys, moving on, and we could start putting in the ears. And you could see how the horizontal line for the eyes, that's how we will get the top of the ears. And you can see as we continue on sketching in the ears, you could see the oval shape that we put in earlier. And we're not trying to go too far out of the range, because we still want to see a little bit of the head behind the ears. Because remember, it's a three-quarter angle, so you'll see a bit more of the head compared to if you was doing a side view. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put in the details for the ears. And we're going to move a bit fast through this part. But if you guys want to know how to draw ears, we did a video on that as well. Alright guys, so now we can move down and we'll start putting in the neck. So right here in the back of the ears, we're going to bring down the neck. And then we could put our other line in the front right here. Notice how it's in line with the edge of the nose. Afterwards, we could put in this curve right here for his shirt opening. And then we could go ahead and finish off the shoulders. And notice how the shoulder to the left, you barely see it. Because depending on which side the character is turned, you'll barely tend to see that. Alright guys, so we're going to put in this hairline. And then we could start dropping in the hair. And for this part guys, you don't have to go through the pain of doing the hair. If you want to leave the character bald, you can. And if you would like to follow along during the hair process, feel free to slow down the video, because we're going to go through the hair a bit fast. And say if you guys want to add quick hair to your character, the hair I find that is easiest to do is the spiky hair I'm doing right now. And you could tell like it all over the place with wild. So that's something you could do real quick if you want to add hair to your character as we're doing right now. Alright guys, so we finished with the hair. And now that I take time to look at the shoulders, we actually gonna go back in and we gonna show a little bit more of the left side of the shoulder. And then we could also fix up the right as well. Alright, cool. And for our last touches on this sketch, we're going to add some shadow underneath the neck. And then we could start erasing some of the guidelines so you guys could see the drawing a lot better. We actually gonna go back in and we're gonna fix up the 3/4 view. Alright, cool. Alright guys, so we finished with our sketch. Now we're gonna kick it into time lapse to do the inking and we'll be back. Alright guys, so we're back after the time lapse and as you can see, clean as always. And one more thing before we wrap this up. And bam! There you have it guys, the final illustration. We hope you learned something, we hope you enjoyed, and we hope to see you guys on the next one. Alright, see ya.